twice every day for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we day here they run to? Who be that? I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat your love. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause my time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come oh. It is very close and they feel more. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it down. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. One of them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice.
Kiwe wesu garani anya nine oria nine nke pụrụ kwasa mmadụ dị ndụ n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye na-agwọ ọrịa anyị wee na-akpọkụ gị onwe gị bụ Sunele nke ndị agha ka igwe mere anyị ebere ka akwa nke anyị na-ebe ka ude nke anyị na-asụ wee bịa n'iru gị ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee guzosi ike ka anyị wee n'ikpete mazụ nye ha sogotuto na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'ebighị ebi maruo n'ebighị ebi ise mma mmadụ dị gị Chineke.
If I go about deliberately looking for who to disturb, who is going about deliberately looking for who to disturb? You say never go about. Then you don't need to go about. They will come. They will come for you. You don't need to go about. What did our leader say about these people? I want you to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Say, please don't go about looking for trouble. Chai! The Shoji. Mad people everywhere. I want you to listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
That the structures doesn't exist. The institutions that will allow the emergence of a
rather than going on now. Now, let me ask you. I know. Why don't your group put?
For those who will always say, "Oh, Why don't you win election? Why don't you bring somebody who is going to win election for you? Why don't you go to national conference? Why don't you do this? Listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu answered.
Push for that in a place like the national conference that is going on now to get that kind of autonomy first, rather than now pushing for independence without whether Nigeria wants it or not.
The fact of the matter is that the structures doesn't exist. The institutions that will allow the emergence of a democratic Biafra within a peaceful setting does not currently exist in that very place you call Nigeria. Mind you, that is the name of a river. Up north, you call them Niger, which is French. If you come down a little bit, it is called Niger, which is English. And the people that live around it are called Nigerians. The only place, or part of the only place in Black Africa where you name a people after a river. I have never seen any civilized country in the world where people are named after a river. It's never happened before. The people own the river, not the other way around. By tacitly accepting the word and the tag Nigeria, what it means is that you never had any history until Frederick Lugard came, which is a fallacy, it's an abomination, and nobody should be saying that. Coming back to what you said, there is no way we can run for office as a political party. We tried it with ABGA and it did not work. These issues were thrashed out very well. Is that the people that control the levers of power within Nigeria are not politically sophisticated enough to appreciate the finer points of political discourse. In other words, that disputes resolution can best be conducted within a political setting where people are civilized. And I'm afraid to say that what I see in the zoo they call Nigeria, people are not civilized.
Now, we're out of time, but let me ask you, last week, I believe, the Biafran Zionist movement claimed a responsibility for the attack at the attacks in the Enugu State Government House. Are you familiar with that group, and what was the mission of that attack?
I am familiar with a lot of groups. That name rings a bell. Anybody that can do anything to disrupt the present orthodoxy of governance by a group of very corrupt cabals is welcome. In that regard, I welcome what they did at Enugu, and I hope that people can come out and join us when the time comes to overthrow the very corrupt, inept old men and women in charge of that very place, because Biafra must exist. It's our right to make sure it happens.
All right.
While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not condemning any group, while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not condemning any group whatsoever, just like I am supporting any group at all, so long as you are fighting against Nigeria. While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not supporting, is not condemning any group, the people that claim follow him today, they say Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is this. Simon Ekpa is that. After 10 good months of fighting Simon Ekpa, they didn't achieve anything. After 10 months of fighting Simon Ekpa, they didn't achieve anything. Yet, they are now changing tone. Simon Ekpa is a terrorist. Simon Ekpa is the leader of unknown gunmen. Chai! This OG. And they are looking for freedom. You see, the more you blackmail me, the more you are blackmailing yourself. You think you are blackmailing me. You are blackmailing yourself. You don't know that? When the BBC came and do their nonsense disinformation, is it only Simon Ekpa that they showed his picture? Is it only Simon Ekpa? You all were there. All of you were there. You could not even defend yourself. The same Simon Ekpa you are calling all manner of names defended you there. And let me tell you, even when they mentioned Simon Ekpa, the issue they mentioned Simon Ekpa, there was not even, I can defend anything I say. All of you, you could not defend yourself, yet, you blackmail me. You think that when you blackmail me, when they want to call name, they call only Ekpa? All of you, your picture were there. Did you see my picture in the write-up? No. My picture was my video was hidden in the video. But all of you, your picture was there. Every day you look for Simon Ekpa, you post. Simon Ekpa is Nwapoda. Simon Ekpa is Ekperima. Simon Ekpa is this. When the thing begin to happen, you think it doesn't, they will call you. And when the issue started, you could not defend yourself. You couldn't defend yourself. BBC did not say it was Simon Ekpa. BBC put your picture, all of you, as you were blackmailing Simon Ekpa, they did not say it was, they put all of your picture. So this one, they say, we are going to kill this one, we are going to kill that one. All of your picture was there, your video was there. Yet, you will wake up every day to blackmail Simon Ekpa. And every day, if you don't, of course, some of you can never learn. Hatred and jealousy of Simon Ekpa have beclouded the brain that you don't even have at all. I do not know when they are going to learn. They think when they promote Simon Ekpa by calling Simon Ekpa criminal, the BBC will come and say Simon Ekpa. All of you, the more you are calling me a terrorist, the way you are calling me a terrorist is the same thing you are calling yourself. You think when you be a terrorist, oh, Jesus Christ. This BBC disinformation should have teach all of you a lesson. You think when you come to social media because you hate me, because you are jealous of me, because you don't like me, you think when you call me criminal, you are going to pay for everything you say. You are going to pay. You carry my name and blackmail. Simon Ekpa is the leader of a non-government. Simon Ekpa is this one. Simon Ekpa is that one. You see the way BBC is dealing with you people? If anything is going to happen anywhere, you are going to also be dragged into it. And you can't even defend yourself. Iti Boribos. Iti Pataka. Everywhere.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us on this very evening section. Wherever you are, I welcome you to this amazing program. Thank you for being part of us this evening. Please, as you join us, like and share the program. If you are joining us on TikTok or you are joining us on Facebook, wherever you are joining us on this very program, please, I urge you to like and share. If you are joining on TikTok, tap the screen. Help us to give some tap to the screen. It's not going to cost you money. It's not going to cost you anything. Just tap on the screen so that others can be able to get the link and join us. If you are on Facebook, like the program and share it. If you are watching the program in YouTube, which is where I'm hosting the program on David Harbour channel, you know what to do. Like and share. I wish everyone that have joined us a very happy Sunday. Remember, we always have our Sunday sermon after going to our various churches to worship as Christians. Like my own self, I am a Biafran Christian. But as I always explain, my Biafranness is not at war with Christianity. You are entitled to be able to pray to your God, speak to your God the way you want. What matters is be on truth, stand on the truth. How you relate to your own God depends on you. Nobody's going to dictate for you how to relate to your God. Either you try to relate to God as a Christian, as a Muslim, as a Hindu, as a traditionalist. It is up to you. It's entirely up to you. So my own very self that is speaking here, I am a Christian, a Biafran, Igbo Biafran at that, and my Biafra is my religion. It is not at war with my Christianity. In fact, I am much more a Christian being a Biafran, because we know what Biafra stands for. Biafra is truth. Biafra is light. Biafra is freedom. If you are a Christian and you are not part of the cause of freedom of your people, you should be ashamed of yourself. If you call yourself a Christian, I am saying this because today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. So many of us have gone to church and come back. So many of us are still in our churches. Some are still on their way going because of different locations. Wherever you are and you are watching this program or you see this program and you are not joining to add your voice to the plight of your people, to the oppression of your people, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because Christianity is all about freedom of mankind. Christianity is all about freedom. The very person that introduced Christianity, Christ himself, who you claim to follow, came into this world only for freedom fighting. Christ came not for any other thing, just to free man, to set man free. That was why he came. So how can you be calling yourself a Christian and you don't partake in the freedom fighting of your people? How can you be calling yourself a Christian and yet when you see people talking about agitating for the freedom, you don't talk about it? Your own people, other people, not just your people. You see why it is very important that we continue to do what we do. You see why I am doing what I'm doing every single day, from Sunday till Sunday, twice a day sometimes. I always come online. Only on Sundays I come only once, other days twice. Because fighting for freedom is part of the reason we are here. We will not be silent until we are free. More especially the Biafra and the Igbo Biafras mainly, we are not slaves, can never be slaves. From birth, we know that we are freeborn, and we continue to defend our position as a freeborn. That we will continue to do. It doesn't matter what the enemies are saying. It doesn't matter their propaganda, their blackmail. We are freeborn, and we will remain free people. My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, we have come today once again to do what we know how to do best. In this very platform you are watching this program, I want you to understand that we do not come here to instigate violence. We don't come to this platform to preach hate. We do not come here to attack people or individuals. We do not come here to promote any form of violence. We don't come here to attack any race or religion. What we do in this platform is to preach the gospel of peace, the gospel of freedom, to present the case of Biafra before the whole world, to tell the world the true situation in Biafra land. We bring it out. We expose the secret war that is ongoing in Biafra land that the media has refused to pay attention to. Conventional media in Nigeria, international media, journalists in Nigeria, they have turned a blind eye to this warfare. Nigerian government have managed as always to take away the media from reporting the true situation of things in Biafra land. In Nigeria as a whole, not just Biafra land, even in Nigeria as a whole, the insecurity, the atrocities, the calamity upon the people, the loss of life of mainly Christians in the northern part of Nigeria, nobody is reporting it. When they report, they underreport it. They play it down as if nothing is happening. You can imagine in 2025, go to all their media platform, they are occupied with politics. When insecurity is the order of the day, they are occupied with politics. But in this platform, we bring information to you as much as we can. Though we cannot be able to share all the videos we have on these platforms because of the restrictions. There are several things we cannot be able to share here because of the restrictions we get. But at the same time, with the little opportunity we have, we will tell you those things you need to know. And that is why we are here today. The propaganda of the government of Nigeria has become so much that we can no longer be silent. The propaganda is huge that even some people have volunteered themselves to continue to play the devil's advocate. And we see those people mainly among our Yoruba brothers. Some of them, mainly, some of our Yoruba brothers are in the front line of playing the devil's advocate, projecting the propaganda of the enemies against innocent people of Biafra. And that calls for concern. We have been silent for a very long time over propaganda against the Igbo Biafrans, more especially. The Igbo Biafrans, more especially. This propaganda started since 1940. Since 1940. They tag us domineering. They tag us lover of money. They tag us desperate. They tag us criminals. Different kinds of names. They tag us successionists. There is different kind of name they don't tag us. They tag us rebels. They use their media to project these lines against us. And for a very long time, we have not been paying attention. They use their media to paint us evil. They come online and tell you that the Igbo Biafrans are fraudsters. They are drug peddlers. They are ritualists. But in the actual sense, that is a blatant lie. That is a big lie. There are good people and bad people everywhere. But I can tell you, the percentage of the bad people you see in Igbo land is lesser than what they project. Nigerian government is in front line of pushing that line. Just like they use the one they call Abike Dabiri, the woman who they made commissioner for diaspora or whatever title they get her. And her only assignment is to demonize the Igbo Biafrans wherever they are on the planet Earth. That is a straight assignment given to Abike Dabiri, and she is doing it unapologetically. She is carrying that very duty unapologetically. This hatred was planted by Awolowo himself. Awolowo came back from the UK in order to take over Lagos State and win vote. He decided to introduce tribe. He used that tribal sentiment to put in the life of the Yorubas, and they bought it. And from then, we no longer agree in politics. We no longer agree in anything. And some of those Awolowo boys today have grown and they are in power. One of them is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu have recruited tribal bigots, people whose only agenda is to demonize the Igbo Biafrans. That is why somebody like Abike Dabiri will not speak about 52 Yorubas that are in death row in Saudi Arabia. 52 Yorubas are in death row in drug case in Saudi Arabia. She will not talk about it. But she will come to Malaysia and tell you that in Malaysia, there are Biafrans who are in death row. She will not talk about the fraudulent attitude of fraudsters of Yoruba ethnic group that are detained in the United States, that have been captured on several occasions. One of the biggest fraudsters in record captured by the US is a Yoruba man. Their traditional ruler is involved in fraud, detained in the US today. But she will not talk about it. She will tell you that Igbos are fraudsters. They are troublemakers. Painting this image, using their media to promote this. They use their media. Go to their media space. You see most of them in the media. They are from that ethnic group. Some of them, they are from that ethnic group. And what do they do? Push lies. When they want to write a headline about things that happen in Biafra land, the headline is always different. Anytime they write a headline, you will always see that picture of criminality. You will always see that picture of violence. They will create that image that we, the Biafran people, more especially the Igbo Biafran, are violent. They have done this for so many years, and none of us is paying attention until now. Mazin Nandekano came into picture, and that is one of the crimes Mazin Nandekano has committed that they don't want to reason. Mazin Nandekano tore down their grip on media. Mazin Nandekano dragged every Biafran into the media space. And today, the Biafran people are in the media space, even though some of us are still abusing that media. Some of us are abusing the media. But Mazin Nandekano opened that space and took it and gave it to us. That is one of the crimes he's committed today. They don't want him to be free. They don't want his voice to be heard. They don't want him to come out anymore. They want to hold him for as long as they can. But my fellow Biafrans, we have come to make sure we change that evil agenda of the Janjaweed. We have come and we say we can no longer be silent. We have been silent for too long. We have been silent for too long. That is why we come today to discuss on a very important topic. A topic which says, Sunday sermon, break the chains of fear or remain slaves forever. Break the chains of fear or remain slave forever. This is a title we are going to discuss today, and we are going to dig deep into it. We are going to discuss a lot of things. For as much as we can be able to do this evening, I urge you to pay attention and please invite people that you know. Those that have a contrary opinion, invite them to this program. Let them come and ask questions. Let them come and bring their superior argument, and let's talk about it. Let them come and bring their superior argument. Let us talk about it. In today's program, we are going to discuss on this very topic, and we are going to dive into it and treat it for as much as we can. My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, today is not just an ordinary Sunday. You go to church, you come back, you relax. No, it is not just an ordinary Sunday. Today, we want to use this day to confront the deadly weapon of silence. The deadly weapon of silence in all angles. The silence of the international community, the silence of some Biafrans who claim to be influential, who claim to be elites, who claim to be political figures. We want to use today to confront the deadly weapon of silence. My fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, when oppressors spread lies and you remain quiet, you have already taken sides. International community to hear us and hear us louder. Those who claim to be the representatives of the Igbos, those who claim to be representatives of the Biafrans, those politicians who have influence, when oppressor spread lies and you remain quiet, you have already taken sides. You and I, you that is a Biafran watching me out there, whoever you are, whenever you hear a lie against your people and you remain silent, you have already taken sides. Get that into your head. Those who are watching me and those who are going to watch, anytime you hear a lie against your people and you stay silent, you are taking side with the oppressor. It is clear that you have taken side with the oppressor. That is what we see today in the life of the politicians in Nigeria. That is why Nigerian government with their terrorist military will be invading Biafra land, taking innocent life, and nobody will speak. That is why Nigeria will be driving people away from villages, taking over communities and villages, and no politician will utter a word. Instead, they will keep silent and tell you. Instead, they will help them to push a different narrative and tell you that it is the Liberation Army of Biafra. They will tell you it is Liberation Army of Biafra, but there has been numerous evidence to show that the people who are chasing people away from their areas are the Nigerian government and military. We have seen testimony from the northern part of Nigeria, where the northerners come and say that when the Fulanis are coming, they come with the military. And when the military come, they help them to chase away the people. And when the people go away, the military will protect the Fulani to take over their land even their houses, and they will live there. Why the military will push them to a camp? The testimony is everywhere on earth. What is happening in Biafran land? You see them using Biafran people, fellow Biafran, Igbo people like yourself, to make video and say that Liberation Army have made a village deserted. But in the actual sense, the people that are driving people away with terror, fear, burning houses and taking innocent life, young men and women, is the Nigerian government. But those who are supposed to speak are not speaking. The politicians are silenced. Ohaneze and Hinandam are silenced. The international community doesn't pay attention. The United Nations pretend as if they don't see what is happening. When oppressors spread lies and you remain quiet, you have taken sides. There is no doubt. You have taken sides. That's what it means. You have taken side with the oppressor. When falsehood fill the airwaves and you swallow your tongue, falsehood, when you see falsehood fill the airwave and you swallow your tongue, you have already surrendered. You have already surrendered. And this is to every single Biafran, men and women, old and young, wherever you are. Whenever you are, and you see falsehood fill the airwave, and you swallow your tongue, you didn't speak. You don't want to use your platform to talk. You can't even share the program. When you meet, you came across the program where revelations are made, you don't share it. You have already surrendered. That is what it means. Even though you are shouting all hail Biafra, you are shouting I love Mazin Nanika, I love Mazin Samadeka. But when you see falsehood fill the airwave and you swallow your tongue, you do not speak, you do not act, you do not even share the videos that are meant to be shared, not propaganda and blackmail and saga. What it means is that you have already surrendered. You have surrendered your freedom. You have surrendered your life. You surrendered your growth. Silence simply means slavery. Silence in the face of oppression and persecution simply means slavery. You have taken slavery. That is why you are silent. That is why the international community is a culprit in what is happening in Biafra land today. Because the atrocities of Nigerian government in the Biafra land is very open. It is not in the secret, but they have remained silent because they support the slavery of Biafran people because of the economic interest they have. They don't want to speak. It is about economy. As long as the resources will continue to flow to them, they don't care. They don't give a damn. Every single thing that is taking place in Biafra land today, the international communities are aware. It is their table. Mazen Nandekano furnished them with more than enough informations. Video evidence, picture evidence, written evidence, audio evidence. Mazen Nand, Simon Eber did the same. But yet, instead of acting, they supported a government that criminalizes self-determination to silence these people who are giving a voice to their people. What are they demanding for? Freedom. That's all. Self-determination is all we ask for. Self-determination is all we're asking for. Nothing else. There is nothing else we are seeking for. Self-determination. We don't want your presidency. We don't want your resource control. We don't want any position. All we want is self-determination. Be on our own. Take our decision and be who we want to be. But in the midst of all the lies and falsehood of the janjaweed, the whole world is silence. Silence is slavery. If you are a Biafran, you are not speaking, you are not talking, you are not sharing, you have accepted slavery. And today, we break that chain with truth. Today, prepare yourself to begin to break that chain of slavery with truth, with courage, and the fire of freedom. Wherever you are as a Biafran, prepare yourself. From today onwards, after hearing this message, fear no more. Prepare yourself and be ready to break the chain with the truth. You don't lie. With the truth. In everything you want to say, speak the truth. That is all we ask. I'm not telling you to come and push propaganda unnecessary. Speak the truth. Be ready to speak the truth and not about the truth. That is all we ask. If you keep silence and you do not speak, you have already surrendered to slavery. The slavery that we know that the colonial masters are sponsoring today. They are sponsoring. That is why in the midst of all the atrocities of the enemy, they don't say a word. They turn a blind eye. You can imagine Mazen Nandekano, who the United Nations Arbitrary Committee said, let this man go and pay him compensation, and gave Nigeria 6 months ultimatum. Nigeria snubbed United Nations. Who are those United Nations? We are talking about the world powers, people who dictate what happened. And yet, when it comes to the issue of Biafra, it's a different ballgame. Injustice against us does not amount to injustice. Genocide in Biafra land does not amount to genocide. This global conspiracy against us is so clear. But I bet you, Biafrans, we must not be silent at this time. If you remain silent, it means you have accepted slavery. That is why we must wake up. Today, as you are hearing this message, if you have been sleeping, wake up. Wake up and let us break the chain of slavery with truth, with courage, and with the fire of freedom. That will we do. The propaganda, the lies and blackmail against us is so much, so much, and we cannot continue to allow those lies. We cannot continue to allow those propaganda to continue to strive. We have waited for too long, and it's high time we go in and fight the battle the way it should be. My brothers and sisters, today on the sermon of this Sunday that we are speaking, on this sermon of truth and urgency, silence may look harmless. For you, silence may look harmless, but in the face of oppression, suppression, and falsehood, silence is neutral. Silence is not neutral. Sorry. Silence is not neutral. It is deadly. Every one of us should pay attention. This is not the time to be silent. Today, we are in the sermon of truth and urgency. Every one of us should know that we are in an urgent time. It is an urgency. Whether you call yourself a politician, no matter the camp you belong, I don't want to know. No matter who you say you want to support, I don't want to know. No matter the angle you say, I don't care. What I care about is the freedom of my people, the Biafran people. Everyone from the old southeastern region, the present south-south, southeast, lower Kogi, and lower Benue. Every human being in that very place. That is where I'm concerned with. I'm not concerned about your factions and creation of parties and factions. I'm not interested in that. Don't get me involved. I'm talking about the freedom of my people. And this time around, we have to face it with truth and urgency. Don't be silent. Silence may look harmless. But in the face of oppression, suppression, and falsehood, silence is not neutral. It is deadly. When you see evil happening, you do not speak. It is deadly. You as a Biafran, you cannot use your platform to propagate Biafra. You can't use it to debunk the lies they are telling against you. You say you want neutral. You want them to see, oh, this one is not like his brothers. This one is not like other Biafrans. This one is not like other Igbos. This one is not like other Efik people. This one is not like other crap. Thank you. Continue. What you are doing is deadly. If you don't know it now. And what you are doing is surrender. You are already surrendering yourself to slavery when you refuse to speak. You see the falsehood painted against your people, the atrocities, the lie they push, yet you keep silent. You have surrendered. It is acceptance of chain. You have already chained yourself. You have already used yourself by the chain and put yourself. That is what it means when you are silent. You have chained yourself. Silence in the midst of lies is an agreement with falsehood, with the kind of lies that the Nigerian government is pushing out, with the kind of lies they are telling against the Igbo Biafrans, with the kind of amount of lies that is flying, yet you remain silent as an Igbo person. You are mad. You have just bought a chain and you chain yourself. You don't want to talk because of your business. You don't want to talk because of your friend. You don't want to talk because you want to remain neutral. It is not neutral. It is deadly, and you have just bought a chain for yourself. Silence in the midst of lies. The kind of lie you can imagine after more than 50 years, a war they called Biafran War, the war they called Igbo coup, the coup they called Igbo coup, that has nothing to do with you or me, the Igbos. A coup that was conducted, a revolution that was conducted by the young military officers, not even a coup, a revolution by young military officers to put Awolowo as a president. For many years, they pushed that lies that this is an Igbo coup, and everybody bought it. And because of that, millions of lives were lost. Millions were lost. Because of that, there was a pogrom of 30,000 that was seen. The pogrom before the millions, pogrom of 30,000, where young men and women were, pregnant women were more than a cold block and their belly cut up and the child removed. Little children were cut into pieces because of a lie pushed by Nigerian government, supported by the British. And up to today, that genocide was not recognized, has not been recognized up to this moment. And you are silent. You are silent. You want to be a good man. You want to be in the good book of your enemy. Silence in the midst of lies is an agreement with falsehood. Silence in the face of killings is complicity in murder. When you see innocent lives taken and you do not talk, you are complicit. You do not act. That is why the international community are complicit in the loss of life that is happening in Nigeria today, both in Biafra land and in the north. The loss of the life of majority Christians, the attack on Christianity, the Christians that are losing their life in the northern part of, many of them, their village have been wiped away completely. And the world is watching. Only giving lip service, everyday lip service. Biafra land, as we speak, in Okigwe, in Biafra land, as we speak, innocent people are dying. Homes are being burned. Some places, I'm going to play a video where you will see a village entirely, everybody deserted, a village, you know, as at yesterday, somebody made a video, yesterday or the day before yesterday. I'm going to play the video. You see the testimony of a village that the Nigerian geological terrorists have vacated everybody. Tomorrow they will go there and make video and they will tell you Liberation Army have driven people away. They will tell you Gentle have driven people away. Silence in the midst of lies is an agreement with falsehood. Silence in the face of killing is complicity in murder. Silence in the presence of injustice is betrayal of justice itself. That is what we are saying in Nigeria today. Silence in the presence of injustice. Look at the case of Mazen Nandekan, an innocent man who was kidnapped from Kenya, extraordinarily renditioned to Nigeria. Extraordinary rendition to Nigeria. against international law, triple crime committed against him, stripped him of all his human rights, and yet they continue to push him. Even when he has won his case in that same Nigeria court, he won his case. He has defeated them in Kenya, and yet they continue to hold him. And the whole world is watching. No sanction, no reprimanding. They are busy chasing mineral resources in all states of Nigeria. More especially in Biafra land, they are busy strengthening their bilateral relationship with Nigeria in order to get more oil, more resources, as much as they can, to deepen you into more depth. Silence in the presence of injustice is betrayal of justice. You can see that in the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa. The injustice remitted of Mazi Simon Ekpa simply because he is asking for self-determination. Finland joined Nigeria to criminalize self-determination. Finland joined Nigeria to call me a terrorist. When they say Mazi Simon Ekpa belongs to a terrorist group, the only terrorist group that Mazi Simon Ekpa belongs to is IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, which everybody from the old Southeast Asian region is part of it. So you think it's about Mazi Simon Ekpa? It is not about Mazi Simon Ekpa. Every single one of us have been criminalized, called a terrorist by Finland government. And the world sat back and they are watching. They are watching. The only crime we committed is that we try to push back and defend ourselves against the attack on our life. Just like the birth of Biafra. Biafra was not intention of Udumegujuku to form a country. Biafra was a child of necessity. There was no other place to run to. After they have committed the pogrom, 30,000 Biafrans murdered in cold blood, and they pushed them in train and shift them to Biafra land to show it to us. We have no other choice than to defend ourselves. The same thing is happening today. And our Prime Minister Mazisa came on board to educate Biafrans on how to protect themselves. That is the crime he has committed. And today, Finland pronounced 6 years sentence on him, which of course we are already on the way to appeal. But how could Finland, of all people, an European country that claims that they have a high ranking on human rights, that preaches human rights, they are in the forefront today of taking away the rights of a certain people. And the whole world is silent. Nobody sees something wrong in that. It is bad. History has shown us that empires of oppression rise and strive only because the people who suffer remain silent. My fellow Biafrans, this is not the time to be silent. When you join this program and you don't share it, you are a culprit. You are one of those that is cheating yourself. You join this program after listening, you don't share the program, and you are a Biafran. You are an agitator. You want freedom. Even if you're not a Biafran and you are concerned about freedom, you join this program after watching, you don't share. You are only supporting the oppressor. You are an accomplice. History has shown us that empires of oppression rise, strive only because the people who suffer remain silent, but afraid and too tired to resist. My fellow Biafran, are you afraid? Have we now become so fearful? Have we now become coward that we cannot even speak nor resist the oppression they are bringing upon us? Have we now become so cowardly that we cannot even utter a word? Some of us have become like the political elites. The political elites have become so cowardly that they cannot even utter a word. Look at Ohanes and Igbo. Even when they were insulted and called monkeys, they could not utter a word. The woman sent by the government to insult them challenged them to go to court. They didn't even have the balls to do that. We have now become too afraid, too tired to resist the oppression of the enemies. Remember, empires of oppression rise and thrive only because the people who suffer remain silent. We must not be silent. Every voice must rise. Wherever you are, you must raise your voice, wherever you are. You must begin to speak. It doesn't matter how many people are listening to you. It doesn't matter the crowd you command. It doesn't matter, even if it is one person. Even if nobody is listening, the air that you breathe is listening. The spirits are listening. You must make your noise. I want you to understand that once we find our voice, no chain can hold us. Once we, the Biafran people, can find our voice, no chain can hold us. And you can see the example in Mazen Nandekan. You see the example in Mazen Simon Eber. The loud voice they have kept, even though they are in detention. You can hear them through us. Even though Mazen Nandekan has been in detention for 5 years, his voice is still loud through us. You see me play his videos, play his content. Mazen Simon Eber, even though he's in detention, you hear him every day in my platform. He speaks. That is it. Once we find our voice, no chain can hold us. No lie can bury the truth. No lie. They can lie for all I care. They can. You remember this issue of Iboku? Mazen Nandekano have begun to hammer on it, not today. Just like when they said Ojukwu caused the war. All of them believe that Ojukwu caused the war. Ojukwu never called for war. All he called for was the regional government, which they went in Abuja to discuss. But they painted that lie, Ojukwu caused law. Mazen Nandekano came on board and teared that lie into pieces, including the lie of the Iboku. Finally, in 2025, confession is coming. Confession is coming. You cannot, there's no way you can stop the truth. Lie cannot bury the truth. Never, never. Lie can never bury the truth. And no oppressor can last forever. Always remember that. Wherever you are, remember, no oppressor can last forever. It's just for a while. Every one of us should sit up. We have to sit up and do what we have to do. We don't have to be silenced. We need not to be silenced. We must continue to speak. One of the things you have to know in silence is that oppression is not sustained by strength of the oppressor alone. Oppression is not sustained by the strength of the oppressed alone, but by the silence of the oppressed. The silence of the oppressed, it helps to sustain the oppression. When the powerful abuse, kill, kidnap, enslave the people quiet, then oppression becomes normalized. When they continue to lie against us, they continue to intimidate us, they continue to do everything, and we keep quiet, we assimilate it, we take it as a part of our life, then oppression becomes normalized. And that is the situation of the Zoological Republic. Abnormality have been normalized in Nigeria in all ramifications, in all angles. Abnormality is what they see as normal in Nigeria. That when you start on sick, they say, why must you talk? Today, what the Igbo Biafrans are complaining about is something that is affecting every region, every individual as a human being. A normal human being is supposed to complain about what we are complaining. A normal human being is supposed to feel the pain we're feeling, but in Nigeria, they have normalized abnormality. That is why when you speak, they say, why is it that Igbo people are the one complaining every time? So you want me to not conclude because a Janjaweed have decided to take refuge on terrorism. You want me not to talk because other people have accepted abnormality as normal. So you want me to join them? And they say we are noisemakers every time we talk. So I shouldn't talk because you have accepted, with your idiocy, you have accepted abnormality. Oppression is not sustained by the strength of the oppressor alone, but by the silence of the oppressed. When the powerful abuse, kill, kidnap, and enslave, and the people keep quiet, then oppression becomes normalized. That is the case of the zoo. Silence only tells the oppressor, continue, we agree. Get that into your head. Silence, when you are silent, when you are not acting, when you are not speaking, when you are not sharing videos, you're not making contact, you are not saying anything. You are only telling the oppressor to continue. I agree. That is what you're telling him. That is the signal you're sending. Continue, we agree. Silence tells the world there is no problem. Silence tells the world that there is no problem. You see how dangerous silence is. When you are silent, you are not speaking about, I don't tell you to talk about mine. Why don't you speak about the problem that's happening in Ududua land? Why don't you speak about the atrocities of the government in Ududua land? In Arewa, in the Middle Belt? Why don't you speak the evil that the government is committing in your own land? How they create insecurity and promote terrorism? How they equip the terrorists? Why don't you speak about that? Silence tells the world there is no problem. When you are silent, you are telling the world. You'll be wondering, why is it that the world is just silent? Why thousands of people are dying in Nigeria every day? You'll be wondering, why is it that the world is not reacting? Even when the number of people that are dying in Nigeria daily surpass the number of people that are dying in Ukraine, yet Ukraine is in the front line. Ukraine is in the front line of the discussion. Because other people have joined them and created a war. They're not silent. They are speaking every day. Palestine is in the front line. They are not silent. Go to all the adverts on YouTube. You see Palestinian issue coming out. Any advert, you can, before you see one or two adverts, you see Palestinian coming out. That is why the war cannot be silenced. But silence tells the world there is no problem. Because you are not talking. Ohanes Ndigbo is not speaking. Igbo politicians are not speaking. The elites are not speaking. Other well-meaning Nigerians that claim to be activists, they are not talking. Silence kills courage and buries justice. Silence kills courage and buries justice. That is the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When Mazi Simon Ekpa was here, Mazi Simon Ekpa never kept silent. He was always mounting pressure to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, creating different kinds of avenues on civil disobedience to demand for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He never kept silent, and that put them on the toe. To an extent, even the governors begin to ask for his release. Many people begin to add their voice, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, let him go, because of the pressure created by Mazi Simon Ekpa. Silence kills courage and buries justice. That is why you must not be silent. If you want to be free, you can't be silent. If you are serious about Biafran freedom, you will never be silent. If you are serious about the freedom of your people, you will never be silent. That is why I can't be silent. I speak 7 days of the week, 2 times every day, except on Sunday. 7 days of the week, 2 times every day, I speak on my platform on YouTube. Wherever you are and you're watching us, I want you to take these points home. Silence gives power to the suppression. Silence gives power to suppression. When you are silent, you are giving power to suppression. Suppression strives where there is no voice. The goal of every tyrant is not just to control your body, but to silence your voice. Because once your voice is taken, your existence becomes invisible. You see how important it is for you to make noise. Make some noise wherever you are. Speak about your freedom. Did you just see that? Once your voice is taken, your existence becomes invisible. The only thing that makes it look as if you are still existing is because of the noise. If not for the agitators today, if not for the members of the IPOB, if not for every Biafran that is speaking about Biafra today, I bet you nobody will know that we exist. Remember the project of this government that you see. You saw a voice note that leaked where they said that they will make us irrelevant within 4 years, and they are almost achieving it. Politically, already they have made you irrelevant. Politically. Economically, they are trying by all means, by burning your market, by putting stringent conditions everywhere. A project that they have. And if you remain silent, if you don't talk, once our voice is taken, our existence become invisible. Always remember this. That is why you must speak. You must talk. A people who keep quiet under suppression are like a candle placed under a basket, burning but unseen. Did you hear that? A people who kept quiet under suppression are like a candle placed under a basket, burning but unseen. Suppression ends when the oppressed speaks, resists, and refuses to be buried under fear. That is the only time we can be able to stop this abnormality you are seeing. This oppression, I said, the only way we can be able to fight our way out is to speak, resist, and refuse to be buried under fear. Throw that fear away. And this is one of that is why they are trying to create as many, they want to create fear as much as they can. That is why if you go to what is happening in Biafra land today, the military will come in, they will set a home, a family home ablaze. An entire family, they will set the home ablaze. They will go to a business, they will set the business on fire. They will see a young man on the road driving, they will open fire and kill him without doing anything, nothing, just because they see you in an area and you are a Biafran. They take your life to create fear. To create fear. Suppression ends when the oppressed speaks, resists, and refuses to be buried under fear. My sisters and my brothers that are watching, do not allow yourself to be buried under fear. No matter what happens, no matter the situation, continue to strive, continue to speak, continue to give your voice. One other point you have to know is that silence turns lies into truth. Silence, when you do not speak, it will turn lie into truth. That is why the Igbos are in the condition they are today. That is why we, the Igbos, are in the condition we are today. But for a very long time, we have never, ever reacted. We are not responding. We kept silent. Why the Yoruba media was online, blackmailing us, painting us what we are not, painting us as fraudsters, painting us as ritualists, painting us as criminals, painting us as troublemakers, painting us as violent people. We are silent. We are not talking. And the whole world is getting that information in the media. And now, that information they have pushed in the media is now looking like truth. That is why we cry and cry and cry and nobody pays attention. That is why today they criminalize self-determination. Genuine request of self-determination that Biafrans are making, they criminalize it. And they call us terrorists. They call us violent people. They associate everything we say and do with violence today. Silence turns lies into truth. False information spread like wildfire when nobody challenges it. Lies only succeed when truth remains silent. Why must you remain silent, my brothers and sisters? Why would anybody tell me not to come online and speak? Why would anybody tell you not to share my videos? Why would somebody tell you, don't hide your voice, don't share videos on your platform? Why would you be preserving a platform because of friends? Friendship that will earn you nothing. And you allow lies to foster. Lie that destroys your lineage. You allow it to go. Why would you wait for somebody to beg you to share a video that is exposing the atrocity of the government? You want somebody to beg you before you share. Why? If you cannot be able to open your own platform and make a video, why not help and share those who are making the videos? Share them. Let the world see. You never can tell who can see it, because we know there are still people that are sane in this world. There are still sensible people. There are still meaningful people that cares about humanity in this world. And we're expecting that one day, they will never be able to be silent anymore. They will rise up. False information spread like wildfire. When nobody challenges it, lies only succeed when truth remains silent. If you do not speak to defend yourself, the enemy lies with defined, I don't know how to explain it. The enemy lies will define you. That is why it is very essential that you defend yourself. Because if you refuse to defend yourself, the enemy's lie will define you. The lie, just like what happened to the Igbos. It is the lies of the Yoruba media today that define the Igbos to the outside world. If not for the presence of Mazen Nandekano and what is happening today, I love what one of our sisters is doing on TikTok. Our sister, whom they wanted to antagonize from Canada, that our sister in Canada, Anya Nambra, she dedicated her own platform to that, to defend the cause of the Igbos. To change that narrative and bring out, it is not by lying, by truth, bring out fact. Go to her platform on TikTok, Anya Nambra. You will see her presenting facts, responding to those lies. Lies only succeed when truth remains silent. Silence is not going to save us. We must not remain silent. Everybody must begin to speak. If you do not speak to defend yourself, the enemy's lie will define you. There's nothing you can do about it. If you do not correct falsehood, generations to come will inherit deception as history. That is the case of Nigeria. If you do not correct falsehood, generation to come will inherit deception as history. That is the case of the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. Many innocent people today in Yoruba land doesn't know what really happened. Many innocent people in the Middle Belt, in the North, don't know the true story. Why Igbos are hated. They don't know why. They can't even explain why. They just saw them and they told them that Igbos are domineering. Igbos are very proud. They want to be in charge. Igbos want to control Nigeria. How? You don't ask questions. How do they want to control? Is it by violence? Is it by merit? That they're domineering? Is it by their hard work? What do you want them to do? They don't ask that question. Generation to come, generation upon generation, have inherited falsehood and they inherited deception as history in Nigeria. That is why Nigeria only remedy is to divide it. Everybody go their separate ways. Division, disintegration, that is the only solution. We are not saying it out of hatred. No, it is out of love for humanity. We are calling for disintegration of Nigeria out of love for humanity, so that people can grow in a sane society where they can act like humans. It is out of love for humanity. That is why we are calling for the disintegration of Nigeria. The northern part go to their Arewa that they are comfortable with. The Oduduwa people go to their monarchical system that are comfortable with. The BIAFRANS go with their secular system and live with it. That's all we ask. Silence allows propaganda to become facts in the eyes of the world. You see the danger of silence? The danger of silence cannot be underestimated. The danger of silence cannot be overemphasized. Silence allows propaganda become facts in the eyes of the world. And this is what Nigeria is using against the Biafran people. Propaganda upon propaganda. And some of us are not paying attention. Instead, we are challenging ourselves. Instead, we use our platform to antagonize ourselves. Instead, we use our platform to campaign against ourselves. Instead, we use our platform to call ourselves names. Always, you open your platform, you bring the video of your brother or your sister, and you are narrating. And you think you are doing something. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. You claim you are fighting for freedom. You claim you are concerned about your freedom of people, and yet you can't even fight against the propaganda that is being pushed against your nation, against an entire ethnic group. It doesn't bother you. What bothers you is your brother and sister, where you are dragging who is going to be in charge and who is not going to be in charge, whose name is going to rail and who is not going to rail, who is the Alpha and Omega and who is not. It is a shame. It is a shame. Silence allows propaganda to become facts in the eyes of the world. That is why when government demonize Biafrans, calling them criminals, terrorists, violent people, it is not enough to shake your head in private. We must rise. We must speak. We must correct every lie with truth. You must not be silenced. The government of Nigeria is intentionally doing what they are doing. That is why whenever government of Nigeria demonize Biafra, they do it by calling us criminals. They want the world to see us as criminals. They want the world to see us as terrorists. They want the world to see us as violent people. And when you see this thing, it is not enough to shake your head and say, oh, these people again. Oh, in private, you say, oh, look at what they're telling. No, don't do that in private. Don't lament in private. Come out on social media. Open your platform. If you can't open platform, join us on our own platform and speak. Speak. Add your voice. Speak against the atrocities. Every one of us must rise. We must speak. We must correct every lie with truth. With truth. Remember, with truth. Correct every of the lie of the Janjaweed, the British and Nigeria. Correct it with truth. Don't worry how long it's going to take. We must have to continue that as an assignment for every single one of us. Do not relent. Don't look back. Silence is not something good. Silence, in no way, even if you look at it spiritually and physically, silence is not a good thing. On the spiritual side, you can say the spiritual and moral danger of silence. Let's go into that area. The spiritual and moral danger of silence. Silence is not only political weakness, it is also spiritual betrayal. It is also spiritual betrayal. So when we talk about being silent, it's not only on the political side, no. It is also a spiritual betrayal. The scripture tells us, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the right of all who are destitute. Proverbs 31:8. Proverbs 31:8. He said, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the right of all who are destitute. So you can see, you have no reason to be silent in the atrocity against your people. Keeping silent when you should speak makes you part of the crime. That is why you see many Biafrans today are accomplices in what is happening to us. They will tell you it doesn't concern them. Oh, I'm not part of the Biafra. You go to their platform in the midst of all this danger today. You go to their platform. Many of them have big platform. You can never see anything about Biafra there. We have many celebrities that are Biafrans. We have people that have big platforms, Biafra, but you can never see them report. Even if you don't target Biafra, even if you don't put the number, why don't you report the things that are happening in your area and debunk the lies that are being told? It is not mandatory that you must put it Biafra. Like there are some people today who only what they are doing today is to unify the Igbos, the unity of the Igbo. When I see that program, I feel happy It is a very strong and beautiful project, and they are focusing on that. They must not talk about Biafra. Their own project is to speak about the unification of the Igbos wherever they are, all the Igbo tribes. And it's a project. That project has been a lie that has existed for more than 50 years. A lie. Another lie for more than 50 years. But today, Igbos, some group of people came out and they are going for unification of it. Whether they are doing it for positive, for negative interest, or positive and negative publication, they are all okay for us. We can only always get something out of it. Whether they are doing it for some people will come and say they are doing it for political interest. Whether you are doing it for political interest or whatever interest, it is ending a lie. That is my joy. I don't care which interest, whether you are doing it for political interest or not, but you are helping to end a lie. And you see those people, they stand on that path. In as much as they are not talking about Biafra, they focus on that very agenda of unification of the Igbos. To end that lie, and they are speaking, they're not silent. They don't just go and sit back at it. And it is because they are speaking, shouting. You see many people online challenging that lies, that you see somebody who speaks Igbo, have Igbo surname, Igbo father, have the name of his town is Igbo, his village Igbo, he go to the market of Igbo, and yet he tells he's not Igbo. And he will on camera and begin to defend it. If you don't challenge those idiots, someone like Wike that came and said that Igbere people are from Edo State, are from Benin. Igbere people are from Benin. They have no resemblance. There is nothing in their life, in their culture that looks like Benin. Nothing. And yet, a politician will come and push. If you keep silent, before you know it, it becomes a routine. You see, those people are taking that challenge. They refuse to keep silent. And they're doing a very good job. Keeping silence when you are supposed to speak makes you an accomplice. It makes you part of the crime. That is why every one of us must speak. Don't be silent. You must speak. Silence is sin. When truth is at stake. Silence is a sin when truth is at stake. Silence in the face of bloodshed is a curse upon the soul. Just like what you are seeing in Biafra land today. Silence in the face of bloodshed of Biafrans. Look at the bloodshed that is happening in Okiwe. The bloodshed that is happening in Olu. In the hand of Hope Uzodimma. And Ohaneze Ndi Igbo are there, they are silent. Politicians are silent. The celebrities are silent. Those who call themselves elites and rich idiots are silent. Silence in the face of bloodshed is a curse upon the soul. You can see how some of us have become a curse upon the souls of innocents. The souls of the innocents. There is no reason whatsoever for you to be silenced. There is no reason. There is no reason whatsoever for you to be silenced. The voice of resistance is the seed of freedom. The voice of resistance is the seed of freedom. Every great movement was born out of the courage to speak when silence was demanded. That is how freedom movements are formed. That is how freedom is generated. Every great freedom movement was born out of the courage to speak when silence was needed. From Moses before Pharaoh, to Mandela against apartheid, to Martin Luther King Jr. in America, freedom has always required a voice, a cry, a stand. Today, to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to Mazi Simon Ekpa, a voice when they want silence. What Nigerian government want from us is silence. Just accept anything they throw at us. Silence, that's what they want. That is what they want. But the same thing that happened that Pharaoh, during the time of Pharaoh, Moses refused to be silent and he spoke. During the time of apartheid, Mandela spoke. In America, Martin Luther King Jr. spoke. The same way today, Mazen Nandekano is speaking for you and I. Mazen Simon Ekpa is standing in for us. Silence enslaves, but speech liberates. Silence chains, but truth break the chain. Silence is death, but resistance is life. We must continue to resist. We must break our chains in our hand by speaking up. We must liberate ourselves by speaking up. That is why we must have a voice. And before we continue, I want to play this video. I want us to pay attention to this very video that was made. This is another voice that is not being silent, even though he is not a Biafran. From the Middle Belt, a voice is coming out to demand for the freedom of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. A mass protest for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu on 1st of October. A mass protest on behalf of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, 1st of October, is a very good one. And just as I always said, I don't care whether you have a political motive or not. It doesn't bother me. Speaking up, I know that all things work for our own good. In as much as we don't trust Nigeria in all they do. But it's a good move. At least somebody is speaking up from the Middle Belt, calling for a mass protest for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu freedom on October 1st. The video is everywhere, and we're going to play the video for you to see the importance of voice. Everybody, nobody should be silent. If you keep silent, you are accomplice. That is why this message is coming timely. I want us to listen to the message that brother had on calling for the protest for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu freedom. Let's listen.
I want to use this opportunity to appreciate Nigerians for their support since I released the first video yesterday about free Nnamdi Kanu protest. This protest is born out of sincerity and honesty. With the display of shame and disgrace that happened in Katsina last week, we all know that for years Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention. And as I'm talking to you, Nnamdi Kanu is having and he's battling with health challenges even while in prison. But it's rather unfortunate with the display of shame and disgrace that happened in Katsina by the bandit commander. The question we ask, do we have a country? The question we need to ask, do we have a nation? The question we need to ask, do we have a constitution? And if we have a constitution, then as Nigerians, we need to ask ourselves and ask the federal government question, why the double standard? If the bandit commander can come and address Nigeria like schoolboys and address Nigeria by threatening Nigerians, by killing one of the headers, that he will kill more Hausas and Northerners, and he is moving freely. Why should Nnamdi Kanu should still be in prison? The question I ask, why the double standard? And it is a question that every Nigerian should be asking. Double standards by the federal government of Nigeria. And that is why the call for one Nigeria, one voice protest is born out of sincerity and honesty, equity and justice for all Nigeria citizens. One Nigeria, one voice protest. One Nigeria, one voice protest is a national call for all Nigerians of good conscience. It's not a regional protest. It's not a tribal protest. But it's a sincere protest born out of sincerity. I am calling on all Nigerians with good conscience to come out in mass. Those in Jos, Plateau, Kaduna, Kogi, and Abuja to come on Independence Day at Eagle Square to support this call. your constituency. We are coming from the north. You can help us to call the IG of police in preparation to this protest. The Racket president, I know you have the platform, and I'm also calling of all the Nigerian bloggers and social media influencers, those with good conscience and sincerity, so that our brother Nnamdi Kanu will be free. I'll bring up subsequent videos in preparation for this call and for this peaceful protest. May God bless Federal Republic of Nigeria.
You heard that. At least somebody is speaking. At least somebody is saying something. I don't care if he has political motive, which is possible, but that doesn't matter for me. We are talking about, on our message today, about voice, being silent, that you must be silent, and you see somebody is speaking. You know that ordinarily, BIAFRANS, Nigeria has caged us that we are now scared to even come out to speak. We can't even protest. The only protest that we had is sit at home. That was why Mazi Simon Ekpa held on it and held it very strong, because that was the only way we can express ourselves. Sit at home was the only power that we had. We can't protest. Anytime we protest, it has been bloodshed. We protested in a hate bridge. Many people died. The idiot who conducted that protest now today, he's the one today attacking Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and speaking ill of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But he forgot that he led people to death. He's the one attacking Mazi Simon Ekpa, but he forgot he led a protest which people died. In Aba, we lost our lives also in Aba. In Ozu River, people died. When people gather to pray in Enugu, they open fire. You see why we cannot protest? We can't go to protest anyway. But this one, the protest is being called by a northerner, somebody from the Middle Belt. That guy, that they're going to have a protest October 1st in Ego Square. And he's calling on all people that matter. Let us watch and see what is going to happen, how government is going to respond. Let the world take notice and see how government is going to respond to this protest. The protest to release our Supreme Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Let us watch and see how the world will respond to this protest. 1st of October, we are here watching. We are going to be following the event. See if they're going to arrest the guy or they're going to allow the protest or not. The guy even called Very Dark Man in one of his videos that Very Dark Man should help to promote the protest. I have not seen any video of that by Very Dark Man. You know, everyone of them is skeptic. When the issue has to do with an Igbo person, when it has to do with an Igbo person, a Biafran, everybody run away. The guy called on Very Dark Man. Let us be watching and see what is going to be the response of Very Dark Man. Because I don't trust any human rights activists in Nigeria. I don't trust them. They are all there for personal interest or whatever. I don't trust them. But all we want is that voice. The most important thing now is that this brother has added his voice. Whether they have a political motive or no political motive, I don't care. My joy is that somebody somewhere is now speaking, calling for that protest that they would want to. Let us see how it's going to be turned out. My fellow Biafrans, a call to Biafrans and all oppressed people. Every Biafran, wherever you are, wherever you find yourselves, wherever you are, my beloved Biafrans, brothers and sisters, wherever you are, Biafra cannot afford silence. We cannot afford silence, not even for a minute. We cannot afford silence. Not even for a second. We can't afford silence. We need to be speaking. Nigeria operation strives because of fear, because too many voices have been caged, but no more. That is how they survive. Nigeria operations, they survive because of fear. They create fear. That fear they create. You see what they did to Sunday Igboho? When Sunday Igboho come up, you see the kind of fear they created in them. They attacked his house. They took the life of people. They took the life of the attack his house. They chased him. They wanted to take his life. Since after Sunday Igboho, have you seen anybody raising again? Sunday Igboho now go underground. He's no longer talking the way he talks before. You look at the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Once he come, they chase him, they want to kill him, they arrest him, they jail him, they release him, they come with python dance, they want to take his life. He escaped. They chase him to Kenya. They carry. Today they are holding him against the law. Against the law. Look at Mazi Simon Ekpa. Mazi Simon Ekpa. They began different kinds of politics. They even sent assassin to go assassinate Mazi Simon Ekpa. They couldn't succeed. They have sent assassin several times to take the life of Mazi Simon Ekpa. They couldn't succeed. Chukwu Okeke Abịama saved him. They began with all their policies. They went to Germany to lobby Germany. They went to France and lobby France. Lobby so many people. And finally, the UK succeeded in using Finland through NATO. Through the NATO pressure, Finland succumbed. Now, focusing on economic interests, seeking for mineral resources in Nigeria, they sold their conscience. And they brought Mazi Simon Ekpa down. They took him away from the media. They criminalize the Biafran people. They criminalize self-determination that is international law, backed up by international law. Self-determination is a legitimate right. It is not a privilege. Self-determination is a legitimate right, not a privilege. Has never been. But today, Nigeria and Finland in cahoots criminalize self-determination. And the whole world is watching. Nobody is reacting. Even those that call themselves activists are not there. It's only Dr. Mazanga. Only Dr. Mazanga that is always active, challenging them, suing Nigeria, any possible place they can sue them, suing Finland, any place they can sue them. Only Mazanga. Every other person is silent. They don't want to speak. They don't want to speak. They don't want to speak. But I bet you, we can no longer be afraid. We can no longer be afraid. Nigerian operations strive because of fear and because too many voices have been caged. But no more. We can no longer be afraid. Every Biafra must become a voice of truth, a witness of justice, and a trumpet of freedom. Every one of us, both Tom, Dick, and Harry, old and young, whether you can use your dialect, whether you will swanya, whether you will swanya, or we will yaso Igbo. Ebo woni no na adonu, na etim woni ife me na obodo anyi, ihe na-eme na Igbo, tiwe mkpu. Obodi wudi yaso Igbo, whether you will kuwe. Ndị na-asụ Igbo suo Igbo, ndị na-atụ Igbo suo Igbo. Make sure you are shouting, post something and say something. You never can tell who will come across it. Every Biafra must become a voice of truth. N'ezioku, in truth, not in lie, not in blackmail, not in propaganda. Ezioku, where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say, I will destroy the Zoological Republic with the truth. And that was what he did. That is why today, even in their court, with all the video they played, they couldn't find him guilty. They couldn't find anything in him. With all his videos they played, all accusations he made against them, including the accusation he made on the late Muhammad Buhari, it wasn't a lie, not a propaganda. They couldn't hold him in anything. That is why it is important. In anything you are doing, in truth, be a witness of justice. Be a witness of justice. Every Biafra, we must be a witness of justice and a trumpet of freedom. Be a trumpet of freedom. Any place you are, be a trumpet of freedom. We must speak in the street, in the media, in the churches, online and offline. There is no limitation. You must select one place. You must select one place. If you cannot come to the media, in your street where you go to drink pami, in your street where you go to play ball and joke, in your street where you go to dance your whatever, in your street, speak about the evil of the Janjaweed. Evangelize, tell people about the atrocities of Nigeria. In the street, tell them. In the media, any media handle you have, if you cannot speak, write something down. If you cannot speak, write something. If you cannot, just take the picture of our leaders and post it and say, free them. Don't be silent. If you cannot write anything, post their, every day you wake up in the morning, you take their picture, either Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon, take their picture, right? Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, free Mazi Simon, post their picture. Simple. Make sure you do something. In your churches, today is Sunday. Today is Sunday. So many of you that are pastors here that are watching with me, so many of you that are cell members, so many of you that are in charge of Bible class, what did you preach in your church today? What did you preach? Jesus Christ came on earth to fight for freedom of mankind. He fought for freedom until from beginning to the last. You that went to church today, your people are dying. What did you preach in the church? What did you preach? You went to church today, Sunday. I went to my own church. I know what we preach. I know what we discussed. After the service, we gathered together and we spoke. After the service, we gathered together and we spoke about Biafra issue. Every Sunday, I don't miss it. I engage people. Some who disagree, agree. Some who don't understand. By the time we finish the argument, some of them begin to understand. So many of them today are thinking differently than I think before. You that went to church today, what did you discuss? What did you discuss about the atrocities of Nigeria in your territory? Even if you don't mention it, Biafra, don't you know that it is necessary to speak about the atrocities the government is committing about your people? What did you discuss in your church today? You that is watching me. You that is watching, you went to church in the morning. Some are still on the way going. As you are going to church now, what are you going to discuss there? Some are still in their church. After service, what have you discussed? What did your pastor, you that is a pastor watching me, you are a pastor, what did you preach? What did you preach in your church about the atrocities of the Nigerian government? Use your church to preach. Online, those of us who are online, whatever platform, as long as it's online, preach it and tell the world what is happening. Offline, continue to talk about it. For me personally, I don't have any other issue. I don't talk to people except when a discussion that has to do with issue of maltreatment of the Biafran people, and then I will just bump into it and I will give you a full load of information. I don't have time for gossip. I don't have that time. If I don't have something to do, I'll sleep. I don't have that time. Let every lie be met with the truth. Truth. Let every lie of the Janjaweed, every lie of Nigerian government, every lie of the British, we meet it with the truth. Every lie of the international community, when they pretend and talk about human rights, they pretend and say that the genocide in Biafra land is not genocide. How can that be true? How can it be real? Biafra lost 5 million and more. And the places they recognize as genocide did not lose up to the number of people who died. How many people died in Rwanda? How many people died in Kosovo? Those places they recognize, how many? The only genocide that can be matched to that of Biafra is the Holocaust. After Holocaust, the next thing that follows is Biafra civil war, the Biafra massacre. But today, they continue to play it down. Nobody's talking about it. They play it down. And you join them to play it down. You agree with them. You accept it. It is unacceptable. It is absolutely unacceptable. We will continue to speak. We will continue to talk. Speak online and offline. Let every lie be met with truth. Let every killing be exposed. Every single atrocities, killing of the Biafran people, expose it. More especially those of us in Biafran land, cover it, bring it and say, so we have a lot of videos. We can't even share it on social media. Only on Twitter. That's where we can share it. So if you send it to us, we will share it on Twitter. Let the world see. That was exactly what Mazi Samak was doing, exposing the secret war they are fighting against us. That is what Mazi Samak was exposing. And they don't like it. They take him out. We will not stop doing that. If you have those videos of the atrocities of the Janjaweed against us, those killings, send it to us. We send it to the world. We share it. That is what we're supposed to be doing. Let every killing be exposed. Let every oppression be resisted. Every oppression from the enemy, we must resist it. Resist every oppression. Let every silence be broken. This is not the time to be silenced. They say, don't talk. Oh, don't talk so they don't get angry. Oh, don't talk so they don't destroy your shop. Oh, don't talk so they destroy business. You are definitely, whether you talk or whether you don't talk, you're going to die. Mazen Nanikano called it the devil's alternative. That's what they gave us. What they gave us, the British gave us with Nigeria, is the devil's alternative. Whichever way you go, people must die. So is it not better you fight for your freedom, get it and be free? than for you to remain in slavery and silence and you die for nothing, and your children still get into that problem. Which one is best? Is it to fight and free yourself, or to live and die in silence, and your children will still fall victim? Which one is the best? Ask yourself. My fellow brothers and sisters, wherever you are watching this program from, I hope you have learned one or two things on this program. Our evening program here is always 1 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, but now we are spending almost 2 hours. I appreciate every one of you that have paid attention to this message. Please make sure you share this message at least to one person. That is one of the action, not being silent. If you know you learned something from this message, or you agree. If you don't agree, it is okay. It is not mandatory that you must agree with what I said. If you have a contrary opinion and you have an objection, you can send me a request. I'll bring you in. You tell me why you don't agree. I'm not going to insult you. If you don't agree with everything I have said, you feel that there's a place I made a mistake, click the link, come in and make the corrections. Bring your superior argument, but make sure you back up your argument with facts. The truth. Once you come out with the truth, I'm going to bow. And I will learn from you. Nobody knows it all. But for you to join this program up to this moment, you must make sure you share this program to at least one person. At least one person. Click like the program. When you give a thumbs up, it doesn't cost you money to give a like. When you give a like, it will trigger the algorithm to invite others to watch the video. Even if you don't share it, you click that like, it will trigger the algorithm to invite others to share. So when you come to a program like this, you click like. Very, very important. If you're watching on TikTok, you touch the screen. Tap on the screen. Tap on the screen. It will help also to extend the message to others. I appreciate every one of you that have listened on this program this very evening. The great danger in time of oppression is not weapon of the oppressor. I want you to know this. The greatest danger in the times of oppression is not just the weapon of the oppressor, but the silence of the oppressed. The silence. That is the great danger. Don't ever forget that. Silence today is slavery tomorrow. Silence today is bloodshed tomorrow. Silence today is betrayal of unborn generation. Don't you ever forget these informations. If you didn't learn anything, take this information home. This last part, take it home. If you don't learn anything, don't forget this one. If you don't learn anything from all the things I have said, keep this one in your heart, that the greatest danger in time of oppression, like we are today, the Biafra people are oppressed. The greatest danger is not the weapon of the oppressor. It is not the janjaweed and their weapon and whatever they are throwing at us, but the silence of the oppressed. Our own silence, we the Biafrans, that is the greatest danger. If we remain silent, that is the greatest danger. Silence today is slavery tomorrow. That is why the greatest enemy we have today are these elites or and politicians who have remained silent in the face of oppression, destruction, and killings. They are our greatest enemy, the greatest danger. Silence today is slavery tomorrow. Remember that. Silence today is bloodshed tomorrow. Silence today is betrayal of unborn generation. You think it's about Mazi Simon Ekpa? You think it's about Mazin Nandikan, the whole Mazin Nandikan, you don't want to talk. You keep silent. It doesn't concern you. They are destroying lives in Okigwe. You don't want to talk about it because you're not in charge in Okigwe. Because Okigwe is not your hometown. Because Okigwe is not your town. It's not your place. Because you're not from Okigwe. You don't have a brother or sister there. You don't want to talk about it. You think it's about Okigwe. Okay, wait. It is about your unborn generation. What is happening in Okigwe today is going to affect your unborn generation if you don't speak. What is happening in Olu today, if you don't speak, it's going to affect your unborn generation. What's happening in Anambra, in Enugu today, you don't speak, it will affect your unborn generation. Therefore, let us all rise. Let us all speak. Let us all refuse to be silent, because our voice is our weapon. Our truth is our shield, and our courage is our path to freedom. I want you to always remember that silence is slavery, truth is freedom, and Biafra shall be free. My fellow Biafrans that are observed, before we close up this program, I am going to play a video, just as we are talking about speaking. Do not be silenced. Give your voice. I'm going to play a video for you to see what is happening in Biafra land, in Omaka. You are going to see how the Nigerian military is driving away Biafrans, scaring them away from their hometown. Tomorrow they will come out and they will tell you, oh, that the people who are there, the Liberation Army of Biafra drove people away. They will tell you, oh, Liberation Army of Biafra are the people who went there and they drive people away. I want to show you what is happening in Umuaka. In Umuaka, this video came out. I think the day before yesterday. Day before yesterday, this video was shown. You see how Nigerian military is chasing Biafrans away from their own town. You see how the Nigerian military is making Biafra land a desert, preparing a ground for the terrorists to take over, and some of us don't pay attention. This is the kind of report we want to be getting. Whenever you see it and you're in your own land, cover it, send it to us, we will share it, let the whole world see what is going on. Let the whole world see what is going on. Don't keep it to yourself. When you see this kind of situation, when you see things like that, you don't have a platform to do, share it to us. We will play it for the world to see. That is why we are here. That is why I'm here. That is why I come online every day. I don't have any other job to hear. Why I come here is to push this information before you. I want you to pay attention to what is happening in Biafra land.
Now, I'm a general. Yeah, I'll go back to general. What are your men? The bag of you make you. Yeah, when I need you now. Papagaka Hana. You should not my general. Yeah, we'll go around. Trout. Hey, I know from what do you go? They want to go away. Ever care? Honorable human rights. What are your name? Shops be never close. Any more years? I am everywhere. It is acted. Home school or grad school. Also, can you like? I like what do you hear at home school? Anywhere. What do you hear at I got school car or which? Gamco now, which was shown. Ulo general, there is somebody. You got of man. What do you hear at school as well? As good as it. What do you told you? You got from also. No, if you are here, my touch. It's a bad. You can't have my. What do you got? One. And I want also for safety. Because some more than what the one. So that is the thing. Now the fatty cable. Thank you very much. Domoka. You get what they have called on my table. For now. But to roll number there, don't we can come at it. You love now 1 2 2.
You can see how they are creating fear in Biafra land. This is how they make people run away from communities. You can see that guy reporting. See him showing it everywhere. It is not a sit at home. It is not a sit at home. Everybody is this. Nobody's coming. He said maybe in the evening, maybe some people come out to feel. Even he himself that is covering the thing that he's afraid of his life. Bullet doesn't have a friend. And after they do this, they will now come and take video and cover it. And they will share it and tell you that Liberation Army of Biafra are the ones doing it. This is the handwork of Nigerian government and their military. So if you are in Biafra land, this kind of videos, when you see this kind of issues, cover it. And give us detail, not like this. When you are covering it, give us dates. Mention dates. Mention the area. If you can be able to use English, better use English so that the world will understand what you are saying. Some of us, even when we are covering these things, we don't know how to cover it. We don't know how to present information. We cover it. We don't call date. We don't call location. We don't. But this one is, I think, all mark aside. That is where this thing is happening, where the military are taking charge to drive the whole community away, coming there to raid and destroy houses and burn houses. There are so many other videos I cannot be able to share here. But when you have this information, give it to us. We will share it so that the world will know what the Janjaweed, what the terrorists that call themselves government are doing in our land. These informations are very important. This is one of the things we need to do, not to be silent. You don't have to be silent. When you see something, you say something. Even if you cannot say, give it to us. Give it to us. We will release it to the world to see. We will release it. Even if you cannot speak, give it to us. We will release it. That is why we are here. That is why we are here. You can imagine the other one. Look at this video now. This is what is happening now in Anambra. This one is Anambra State. You will see what is happening for Anambra. And they will tell you that it is the IPOB that is causing insecurity. This is a kidnapping sponsored by kidnappers, sponsored by Soludo. Look at this one. Kidnappers sponsored by Soludo, where they arrest people, not in police station, not anywhere. They lock people up by themselves.
Just look at the states being governed by a professor, former bank, central bank governor, cannot put people the light of the nation. This is mad. When I posted this 2 months ago, you all are my witness. They came from Anambra and said it's AI. It's AI generated. Now look at. Just look at. This is not police, not military. This is just civilians. They have to look at it. People get us now AI. They keep on what also in the Anambra and I attack again. Look at it now. How long I don't do here? How many days? 3 days now. I know somebody attacked. Did they make how many days? 3 days. Who is the oldest person? The oldest person is up to 1 month. Who is the person? Then the second oldest? 2 weeks. Huh? 2 weeks. The third oldest? How many days? What is that? For those people that we are up to 2 weeks, today is Friday. Yes, sir. If I thought now they would say we are trying to destroy the state, but what state are we destroying? It's already destroyed now. Light of the nation, darkness is already close by. This is darkness. This is pure darkness. This one here is pure darkness. It's pure darkness. Person commit crime, hand over to the police. Even the police say, I beg you,
You see what a professor is doing in Anambra? The one that called himself professor, who said he would turn Anambra to London. Now you see how he has turned Anambra to London. This is how Soludo, personal kidnappers working for Soludo, they kidnap people, they lock them up in their own house, create a cell in their own house, they collect ransom. And when this guy made this investigation, they were pushing, they said it's AI. Now, other people have gone there also to make their own video. In a state. And this same state now, they will tell you that IPOB members, Biafra agitators, they are the one causing problem. They will say Biafra agitators are the one causing problem. Their problem is Biafra. Is it the Biafra people that locked these people here? Is it Biafra people that locked innocent children, young men and women, strong, able men, locked them up? Is it the Biafra agitators that did this? This is how far the Nigerian government have gone to create chaos and insecurity in our land. Soludo, we know, is working for Nigerian government. Soludo worked for Buhari, and today he's working for Tinubu. And Soludo can never, ever make anything to make Anambra State okay. He will never work towards Anambra State being okay. Never. The only thing he will do now, when he remaining about 2 years, 1 year for him to go out, you see him begin to act, just like Hope Uzodinma is doing. Hope Uzodinma now know that his days are numbered. All of a sudden, he's challenging federal government that 8 oil companies in Imo State, no one has a head office in Imo State. All of a sudden, he remember that he will raise minimum wage to 140. And this is how they roll. We must not be silent. We must continue to expose their evil. We must continue to expose their evil. So, my fellow Biafrans, I appreciate every one of you that have been with us on today's program. It is Sunday, and I know many of us have many activities to do. For me, this is already midnight here. I'm supposed to be sleeping by now, but I have to do my night program. Some of us in some places is still afternoon, some is still their morning. So wherever you go, please, if you are those who are still going to church, don't forget to pray for Biafra. Don't forget to pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa. If you have already gone to church and come back, enjoy yourself and be careful. More especially those who are in Biafra land, be security conscious. If you are in Okigwe, be very, very careful. If you are Omaka, Olo, be very, very careful. If there is no need for you to go for anywhere, just sit in your home and stay safe. I pray that Chukwu Kakabiama will guide and protect every one of us as Biafra. May Chukwu Kakabiama guide and protect our Biafran people, more especially people who are in Biafra land. I pray that Chukwu Kakabiama will guide and protect every one of us, secure us until we get to our promised land. I pray for our leaders, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa. May Chukwu Kakabiama continue to guide and protect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Continue to guide and protect Mazi Simon Ekpa. Speak for them, speak on their behalf. Let all things turn for their own good. No evil shall befall them. No evil shall befall Biafrans. Thank you so much for listening to this program. I will see you again by the grace of Chukwu Kakabiama on our tomorrow's morning program. Same time as we always do. If you have not yet subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you have not yet shared, share this program. And if you have not yet touched your notification bell, go there now and touch your notification bell so that whenever I come online, you'll be notified immediately. If your notification bell is not working, touch it again. Touch it again. You will see a bell there. That bell that is down there in your platform. Just tap on that bell. Tap on that bell so that your notification will be refreshed. So that when I come online tomorrow, you will join us. We'll start together and we end it on time. Thank you so much for being part of this program. May Chukwu Kakabiama guide and protect every single one of you that have been able to be patient with us for 2 hours speaking about the issue of Biafra. Biafra is possible. No weapon formed or fashioned against us shall prosper. Thank you so much for watching. See you again tomorrow. Stay blessed. Good night.
Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear. Now go with the go so. Yes, men, they kill us every day, for them busy, they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they are they run to? Move it out. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jollof. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause na time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come up. It is very close at the film. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job, and the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it on. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses, but now them they shoot us anytime they hear our voices.